to introduce Cecilia Rose. Cecilia is recognized as an authority on change, an attitude game changer, and an expert on coaching executives and professionals on what it takes to navigate the rocky terrain of the new marketplace. 2016 will mark her 5th year in a row as one of the International Conference of Women Engineers top conference speakers. She inspires and empowers organizations and individuals to learn, grow, evolve, lead, and realize their true potential for excellence. Cecilia has over 25 years in the business as an ICF master coach, working with senior level leaders in global Fortune 500 companies as a strategic partner, change agent, trusted advisor, and corporate keynote speaker. As a strategic business, easy for them to write, as a strategic business partner whose insights and expertise are highly respected and sought out by senior leaders, Cecilia has consistently developed creative solutions and implemented innovative methods for motivating and stretching people from survive to thrive with change. She strongly believes and knows that success is not an accident, that real success is the combination of belief in oneself, talent, attitude, and relation acumen, and the ability to adapt and embrace change. Please welcome Miss Cecilia Rose.
Hey. Wow. I have been thinking about y'all. I'm a walker, so I'm going to walk, okay? I have on my Texas size shoes. These will last for about as long as this talk, and then I'm kicking them off. So I am absolutely honored to be here. The elected officials of Texas, you are the ones that keep our cities going. You're the ones that build the infrastructure. You're the ones that keep people happy in the city. You're the ones who are the heart of Texas. So tell me here, how many natives do we have? Hot darn, summer in the city, back of my neck getting dirt and gritty. How many got here as fast as you could? Hot darn, yes. I'm born and raised. Sister Amora took away my accent. I have not forgotten and forgiven her for that yet. So, what we're going to talk about today is Millennials. Anybody heard of them? Wow, so you kind of got the word out there, right? So I want you to do something really quick, though. I'd like you to turn to the person next to you and tell them one thing you love about your city or town. Does anybody have one?
It's friendly.
It's friendly.
Friendly.
I got friendly. What do we have over here? We got people.
Friendly.
Friendly. Sand. Got sand.
Historic. The Contra River.
Huh?
The Contra River.
The Contra River. Diversity. Horses. What do you got?
Friendly.
What do you have? Friendly. What do you have?
I got him.
You got him.
I got him.
And they
got him,
they got
babe.
each other.
I got him, babe.
I got him, babe. What do you got?
Horn toads.
Horncoals.
Horny toads.
Horny toads. What do you got?
Whole package.
Whole packet. Oh, good. Whole package. What else you got?
Port of Beaumont.
Port of Beaumont.
Got the Nolensville train whistle stop.
Nolensville train whistle stop. Small town. Open spaces. What you got? Small. What you got?
Gateway to the Space Center.
Ooh, gateway to the Space Center. What you got?
We're a modern city with indoor plumbing.
Modern city with indoor plumbing. What you got?
A river goes through it.
A river goes through it.
Cindy Walker.
Cindy Walker. What you got?
Green spaces.
Green spaces. What do you have?
History.
History. What do you have?
History and the closest.
The closest citizens. And you.
We're small. We know each other.
We're small and we know each other. What do you have?
City Walker.
City Walker. So anybody else want to tell us what you have?
I want to say this about all the cities.
Yes, sir.
That they're all known for that are here today is good-looking city council members and mayors.
Yay! Give yourself a hand. Yay! Wahoo! Leave it to WL. So the stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas. Let me say this. When you are an elected official, okay, what is the number one thing that you are so good at? Communication. Right? You've got to be, and you had, when you were running for election, guess what? There were probably 3 things that you knew that the voters had to know about you in order to elect you. Is that true? No, that's not true. So you just got up and said, hey, I'm cute, hire me, elect me? Good. So that's how you got, was all those good looks of yours?
I ran on my wife's name.
Oh, he ran on his wife's name. Okay, so now we know what we have going on here. Well, let me tell you what, there's a new sheriff in town. It's a new day in the neighborhood. Yep, those millennials. Do we have any millennials in here? No. We got one. Give me my one. I got two. I got one. I got two. I got three. We're going to be talking about y'all. Oh, I got four. Give me five. Give me five. Four, 3, 2, 1. Got it. Okay, so it's a new day in the neighborhood. Now, I'm going to be saying some things in here you may not like. However, you're going to roll your eyes and going, where did they find her? Well, they found me in Houston, okay? So that explains everything, right? So, but what we know is what you resist persists. So what we want to do today is we want to talk about the generations. So if something comes up and you're not crazy about it, this is what I want you to do. Everybody put your hand on your chin. Isn't that interesting? Tell me more. You got 50,000 points. That was brilliant. Okay, so how are we going to do it if you hear something you're not crazy about? Tell me more. Beautiful. See, y'all are all natural communicators. This is just so exciting. So, but before we do that, let's talk about you. Okay? We're going to talk about you. So, tell me this. How many in the room do I have that are traditionalists? Now, sometimes traditionalists don't like to raise their hands, but let me tell you something about traditionalists that you may not know. They took us out of World War II and they made us a global superpower. Give them a hand. Without you, we wouldn't be here. So we honor and salute you. So let's look at the traditionalists. Okay, so what do they like? They're self-disciplined. They're loyal. They're frugal. And they sacrifice for the greater good. Yes! Do it, traditionalists! And their values, very defined sense of right and wrong, hard-won wisdom and experience, honors loyalty and respect for authority, knows what it's really like to do hard work, and no matter how hard things get, you never, ever give. Oh, I'm so sorry, give up. How many boomers do we have in here? Whoa! Wow, we have the boomers, don't we? And you know what I call you? Because I'm one of them. Baby bloomers. Because we bloom wherever we're planted. So, 1946 to 64, traits of the boomer. Experience, wisdom, relationships, highly motivated, values independence, Lone Ranger. Just Do It management style. Anybody remember Enron Just Do It? Oh, yeah, that wasn't pretty, was it? Sacrifice for the family. Those are the boomers and the values of the boomers. Individual choice, community involvement, prosperity, ownership, self-actualizing, health, and wellness. Okay, Gen X. Who are my Gen Xers? Okay, we do have some in here. Great. Okay, Gen X. 1965 to 1980. Traits of the Gen X: work-life balance, innovative and creative, self-reliant and practical, independent and adaptable, loyal to people, not organizations. So it's all about the relationships. We're giggling over here. You know.
You're being kind to them.
Oh. Okay, so Gen X contributes feedback and recognition, autonomy, flexible, works anywhere, separation of work and family life. Okay, now, people always ask for my slides, so if you want slides, those of you that know how to text, I just learned. Okay, so it's 22828. Okay. Millennials. So where are my millennials again? Hot darn, welcome millennials. We love you. We love you with a love so big. Yes. Oh, and she is proud of it back there. What is your name?
My name is Kristen Sakala.
Say it again.
Kristen Sakala.
Kristen Sakala, and she is a millennial, and she is proud of it. What did he say?
Something about a drink.
You want a drink? Oh, and she's going to buy it. Okay. So let's look at what they've said about the millennials, Generation Y. Oh, they're entitled. They're unrealistic expectations, no loyalty to employers, questionable work ethic, spoiled, they don't know how to use a telephone. Lack of social skills, they do that texting thing. Fun is their core value. And promotion now. I've been here 3 weeks, I don't understand. I should be a VP. And they're lazy. Those are the words that are on the streets about the millennials. Right. Whoa, doggy. Man, so what would you say? What do we do here, right? Listening? Okay, are y'all listening? Okay, because here we go. Oh, thank you for turning me down. Okay, I didn't talk till I was 6, and my mother said she over-encouraged me. So, we're listening here. There's another side to the story. Have y'all heard the other side? That was a big no. Isn't that interesting? Tell me more. So let's look at the traits of Gen X. Enthusiastic, and they're bright, they're innovative, they're creative, they are tech savvy, it's in their bones, they are committed when dedicated to an idea, a cause, or a product, highly adaptable, crave change, challenges, they're exceptional multitaskers, and their work-life integration. But guess what the key is for millennials? They want meaning and they want purpose. Yes. Okay? So that's a really key thing for you to know about this generation. So I want to tell you about my friend's son. So he got a job. He was working at the golf course. This was back when young people would go mow lawns. You remember that? No, you don't remember that? Okay. Well, I mowed a few lawns in my day. So he is at this golf course where he works, and he is mowing a lawn. And he mows the lawn. And in the beginning, it took him a real long time to mow that big golf course. And then what happened is he got better, and he got better, and he got better. And the next thing you know, he was just whipping around, and he could finish that green in only a few hours compared to in the beginning, because his job was 8 to 5, it would take him 8 hours to get that green mowed, right? Well, this particular day, he got it done by noon. And so he's ready to go home. And the boss isn't there though, so he calls up my friend, his mother, and he says, Mom, I mowed the green. I did good. I'm done. I want to go home. And she said, you can't go home? You can't, what are you thinking? You can't go home. He said, but Mom, I did it. It's done. I finished you cannot go home. He said, but Mom, you don't understand. I have done it. He said, what am I supposed to do? And guess what Mom said? Look busy. Look busy. You go out there, talk to the grass, plants, whatever you got to do, but look busy. He said, Mom, that's stupid. So he went home. Guess what happened when he came back to work the next day? Yes, no job. So they think differently. And so what does that mean for us, the great communicators?
We have to think differently.
We have to think differently. So what we want to do today, in the time that we have, because I could talk on this subject till the cows come home, okay? But I understand that y'all got a hot date at 4, so I got to get you out of here. So we want to get out of our comfort zone. Once we get out of the comfort zone, this is where the magic happens. This is when things start kicking in on all cylinders. So we're going to look at it from a different view. Y'all ready? Isn't that interesting? Tell me more. So how do you create a dream team? Because let me tell you what. When it really comes down to it, even though we want it differently, we still all want the same. If we pull it together, what are the millennials really saying to employers? They're saying they want expression, life experience, growth, recognition, purpose, authenticity. Don't we all want that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we all want to be heard. It's just that we come through different filters. We come through different ways of wanting to achieve the same thing. So think about it. If we were to combine forces and create an amazing dream team, think about what you bring to the table. Think about what you bring to the party. That wisdom, that experience, that understanding. You've got years, in some cases, like I've got decades of out there falling, getting up, figuring things out. They don't. Their brains are not wired yet. It hasn't happened. But guess what they are wired for? Technology. It's in their DNA. They eat it. They drink it. Yes. So, repeat performances. I want you to remember this. And I know you already know it, but I don't want you to forget. What gets rewarded gets done. And what gets recognized gets repeated. Has everybody had this experience? Okay. Think about, what did you get points for growing up? And those are usually the things that you have carried into your career and your life. So, let me tell you the number one thing that millennials want. Just in the last few years, I've started working with millennials, hypos, high potentials is what they're called, and or emerging leaders. And one that I have been working with recently, he comes to me, and he had been part of a startup. And he's a technology guy, and he was part of the business development piece, and he had 2 partners, so there were 3 of them. And they began to grow their software company. And then what happened? Guess what? They landed a business, a company that you all know that is as big as Texas. Okay? I mean, it's like huge big. Okay? And we're talking $1 million of an account. It's like, whoa, holy Geronimo, holy Chihuahua. Okay? And then guess what happened? There's a thing called going on right now is the economy is tanked. Have you seen gasoline? I got gasoline the other day for $1.34. Okay, so guess what his company was? Oil and gas. They don't have that account anymore. So can you imagine what that did to their business? Whoa, and he's got a family. He's got 3 children. And so we're working together, and he's trying to decide, do I go get a job? Do I try to revive this? Do I try to go get some more? And guess what I said to him? I said, what about if we sat down and put together a plan? You would have thought that I had parted the Red Seas. A plan? Really? My gosh, he was dancing on air. And he went home to I got a plan, it's happening, I got a plan. And then guess what we did? Not only did we get a plan, but we got a strategy. Now, all of you elected officials, you got to have a strategy, right? You got to have a strategy to get elected, but you also have to have a strategy to keep your job, right? So we got a strategy, and then what he didn't realize that he also needed was an exit plan. Now, let me tell you something about an exit plan. An exit plan doesn't mean you're leaving the organization. It doesn't mean you're leaving office. What it means is, are you going to do this? Are you going to cha-cha over here? You're going to cha-cha. Maybe you stay within the organization, or maybe you do leave. But when you don't have a plan, life happens. Anybody had life happen to them? Man, that's how my hair turned red. So you got to have a plan. And then the other thing that you want with these young people is they need an onboarding. Companies and organizations do not tend to onboard their people. And let me tell you what, if you do not onboard millennials, that is a fatal mistake. Fatal. Because, that's a pretty strong word, isn't it? Woo! Okay, but it is, because what will happen is they're going to walk. They're going to walk. If they don't know what to do, if they feel stupid, if they feel... that's usually what the millennials who I work with tell me. I just feel... in fact, it's true. She just threw her phone at me to confirm it. So they want to... Guess what? They want to be recognized. They want to do a good job. But if you don't help them on board, if you don't explain to them what they need to be doing and how they need to be doing it, guess what they're going to do? They're walking. They are not tied to anything. There's no loyalty. If it's not working here, I'm not having fun. I'm not learning. They love training. You really want to get them, trade them. They love, love, love training. Because why? They were brought up with all of those organized activities like in sports. They got a lot of feedback and everything. So you want to make sure that your millennials, guess what? That they get onboarding. And this is a sense of purpose. If they don't feel like and I'm going to give you a technique in a minute that'll explain this, but they have to have a sense of purpose. It has to have a meaning. If it is not going to feed the world, they're not there. If it is not going to impact the greater good, they're not there. If it is not going to contribute in some form or fashion, they're not there. So let's look at this. I'm going to give you an example. And again, I would suggest that you get the slides. And the reason I don't usually put this much copy onto a PowerPoint, but the reason why I did it is so that you would have something to reference. So, if you meet with a millennial, they want to know why it matters. They don't care about the process. They don't want to know about how or that it'll get done. No, they just want to know, why does it matter? I have a new assistant, and I asked her to do something the other day, and she looked at me and she goes, why? And in my head, guess what I was saying? Because I said so, that's why. I can't believe you even asked me. She's 25. Yeah, do you remember Mama saying that? Exactly. It was very effective. It's not effective anymore. Okay? So, this is the example. Our job is to judge the effectiveness of urban gardens. They don't care. They don't care about your garden. They don't care about how effective it is. They don't care. But because I'm sitting in a room of great communicators who know how to get a point across, this is what they do understand. We're here to figure out whether or not the free installation of urban gardens in Austin helps low-income families. So guess what? We're feeding the world, right? We're contributing. Eat healthier or not. So we're making a difference, aren't we? And we've got 9 months to come up with initial findings. It's important because if the answer is no, then it will be determined that $500,000 will no longer be available and it will be spent somewhere else next year. Now, this is the piece that you really want to get across. If the answer is yes, listen very carefully. We have a national model that other cities can learn from. They love to learn, don't they? And they want the world to learn. Teach the world to learn. So this is a huge opportunity to what? Make a worthwhile contribution. So what were the things that were in that? Contribution, helping people that need to eat, and getting the money so that that can happen. The money has got to be tied to what? Purpose. Thank you. So it has to be tied to the purpose. It has to have meaning. If you get nothing else today from the tips and the tools and the techniques, if you get this down, which guess what? Of course you've got it down because you run for office. That's what you're explaining to people. But you have to take the time to explain it to them. And so what happens is when we don't do that, we lose them. The next thing is coaching and feed forward. Millennials believe that career coaching is not a sign of weakness. They believe it's the path to greatness. Okay? They want to be coached. They want to be coached all the time. They want feedback. So I'm going to tell you a story. I read a blog recently, and I was laughing so hard I had to get up off the floor. So this young millennial was writing, and so she was talking about why it's important that we get feedback as a millennial. She said, okay, so I'm like, looking at myself, and I decided to, I was, really looking hot that day. So I took a picture of myself, and it was like, I looked hot. So I took it, and then I uploaded it to Facebook, and to see how many likes I would get so that everybody would like me and see how hot I am. So I loaded up to Facebook, and I waited 10 minutes, and I did not get one like. And I thought to myself, oh my God, nobody likes me. They don't think I look hot. Oh my God, I bet I look fat. Oh my God, oh my God. So then what does she do? She turns around and she takes it down because she didn't want to be embarrassed because she had put an ugly picture out of herself and those people didn't like her. Okay? This is what happened. She's used to immediate feedback. And in 10 minutes, when she did not get feedback that somebody thought she was hot, she went into a spiral of low self-esteem and figured they all thought that she looked fat. Okay. Another reason why it's really important to give them feedback is so that they know, okay, so that one is to know what they're doing. So again, feedback is important. So this young woman, okay, so what she does is her boss calls her into her office. Her boss's boss had told her boss that she had run a report and that she had been late for work 166 times. Interesting. Tell me more. Okay? 166 times. I'm going to tell you more. So her boss says, this is unacceptable. And she said, you know what? I'm a salaried employee. What's 5 or 10 minutes if I'm late? Woo! And not only that, so she thought if she was a salaried employee, it didn't matter when she came in. Okay? Then what happens is she gets really mad. And she goes, well, duh. Why didn't you tell me the 5th time I was late? Or the 10th time I was late? Or the 27th time I was late? What about the 62nd time I was late? What about the 100th time I was late? What about the 152nd time I was late? So to the manager, her supervisor, she's saying, excuse me, but this is your fault. You did not give me feedback. You are the manager, and you're supposed to manage me. And you can't wait till 166 times till you decide to tell me because I thought I was okay. Because if you don't hear anything back, you think your behavior's okay, right? So I'm telling you, it is thinking differently. But I know everybody in here, again, my great communicators, once you know the technique on how to work with millennials, then you know what to say, right? And you know what's important. So, E square. This is one more. I got to tell you about another one of my clients. Her boss's boss, it always seems to be the boss's boss, okay? Her boss's boss, now she was, and still is, she's a hypo, she's a high potential. She was over, all kinds of responsibilities. She was doing really, really, really well. But the boss's boss said to her boss, she gets in people's face. And she intimidates them. And she's trying to jerk them along. And the boss's boss said, this isn't going to work because nobody's going to follow her. Now at this time, she was 27. So her boss said, you may get a coach. Go get a coach. And so I had met her a few years before when I was speaking at a conference at Rice for a conference. And so, tricky. So I had met her then, so she calls me up and she said, I know you don't work with young people, but would you consider working with me? And I said, well, let's do this first. Let's sit down and let me understand what it is you want. And so she came to my office and we sat down and I said, okay, your company wants to give you a program to coach you. At the end of the program, what do you want to walk away with? And she sat up really straight and she put her shoulders back. And she took a breath and she smiled. She said, I would like to walk away with executive elegance. And I went, wow, executive elegance? Now I've heard of executive presence, right? But I'd never heard of executive elegance. I said, well, tell me about executive elegance. She said, when those people who have a presence about them and they walk in a room and they don't even have to say anything and they're very gracious and they have this professional generosity and they have an easy laughter and they engage people and they communicate with people and you can tell they love people. That's what I'd like. And I went, wow, we're going to go get some of that. Since I saw her last, she's been promoted twice. So what I'm telling you is when you help them, when you give them feedback, there's another young woman that I'm working with right now. In fact, I had a telephonic meeting with her yesterday on my way up. And she was telling me she's in engineering school. And so that means that she's either a sophomore or junior, I don't remember. And she said, I just feel so stupid. Well, tell me more. So, and she said, well, I can't talk to my professors because they get really annoyed and they get really impatient. And she said, and then I get really scared and I get really anxious. And then I go on the internet and try and figure it out by myself. Oh, they need us. They need you. Because what they bring to the party and working with them, kind of chokes me up because they want to be good. They want to do well. They want to exceed. They want to excel. And we're going to be putting our future in their hands. Excuse me, it's already in their hands. And the truth is that we are in their world. They're not in ours. We've already had ours. That's right. Remember the twist? Yeah. Okay, we've had ours. So the more you can help them. So we talked about you got to give them feedback. You have to give them feedback. And you got to communicate. You got to show them how to build relationships. They don't know how to talk on the phone. Okay? I was at a conference recently and I said, tell me, what is this phone phobia that y'all are scared to talk on the phone? Or you call me and hang up. And that's code for text me. Oh my gosh. And so several of them raised their hands and I said, tell me. And she said, because we don't know how to talk. What is it? Isn't that interesting? Tell me more. They're terrified of the phone. Oh my gosh. Has anybody else had that experience? Thank God I'm not the only one. I'm so glad you came. What is your name?
Pat.
Pat, thank you. Okay, this is good. So, it is better to over-communicate with them than to under-communicate. And to communicate about everything. Communicate. I had one of these young people, and I said at the end of our session, how do you feel? She said, I just needed to talk about how scared I am. Thank you. They just need to be heard. Remember that slide we just had with the big ears? They want to be heard. And it's what I call shua. See me, hear me, understand me, acknowledge me, appreciate me. Shua. So when you get frustrated or you're getting annoyed with them, remember to yourself. How's that for English? Okay. Say to yourself, shua. And then you're going to say, interesting. Tell me more. So you're going to engage them as only you can. And also appeal to their priority of personal growth and development, even when it's uncomfortable. These young people want to be trained. They love learning. They are learners. But if nobody helps them, they're not going to get what they need. So, for all of us in this room, except for the few millennials we have, and I'm so glad you came, you all get 100,000 points, okay? Let's clap for them. Yay, millennials! So what we want is we want to dance with them. We want to dance because when we dance with the millennials, guess what happens? We get a marriage, yes. We dance together. It works. It works. And you can learn from them. I mean, how many of you, whenever your computer, you can't figure out, what's going on? Thank you. Who do you call? A millennial.
That's right.
How many times have you called and they said, well, did you turn it on? Okay? They're millennials. They eat, drink, and breathe. This is in their bones. So when we do this dance together, it keeps us relevant. It keeps us being life learners. It keeps us and gives us an opportunity to share what we know, to share our wisdom. We really worked hard for the wisdom we have and the understanding. Would you agree?
Would.
Joe?
Joe Bill.
Okay, so we have to pass it on. We've got to pass it on. And when these two come together, the business acumen that you have, the experience that you have, and then you put it with their technology, oh my God, look at the legacy we'll be leaving. It's time to let go. Can you see that?
No.
You can't see it? Oh, he's saying no. We gotta let go. It's time. And we gotta extend our hand to that little bird that wants what we have. They need us. And they will extend their hand to us. Traditionalist, here you are. Do you remember that dance? And here are the boomers doing the twist. And here's Generation X. And here are the Millennials. They got their headphones on. They're dancing. They're grooving. And in Texas, what do? What's our dance? Two-step. It's a two-step. So what we're going to do is he's dancing with a millennial. So we're going to do the two-step. So the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. And the prairie sky is wide and high, deep in the heart of Texas. The sage in bloom is like perfume, deep in the heart of Texas. Reminds me of the one I love, deep in the heart of Texas. This is a book I suggest you get, Dancing with the Digital Natives. Because the stars are bright. Stars at night. Big and bright. So let's get up and dance to that real quick before we say goodbye. Okay. Well, don't y'all all get up at once. The stars at night, deep in the stars at night. Thank you all. Go dance with the Millennials. And I'm going to go take my shoes off, Joyce. Thank you. Thank you. So, are y'all ready to go dance with the Millennials?
Yes, we better.
Hot darn. Summer in the city. Back of my neck getting hot and gritty. Thank you, thank you, thank you.